Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm gonna be giving you part 12 of What If Naruto Awakened the Yellow Rinnegan after his exile. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto's Blamed and it changed him that I posted over on Anime King, and I enjoyed that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 3, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as the Konoha team was dealing with Kakazu and Hidan, Shikamaru, being smart as he is, after the death of Asuma already created a plan to deal with Hidan, seeing his ability, so they brought him out to the forest with the help of Yamato, while the others stayed behind as they took care of Kakazu, Guy, and Kakashi working as a perfect unit, with Choji and Ino there as well. Meanwhile, as Navi was confused when she saw the giant toad get summoned off into the distance. Gamabunta was large, as he could be seen from a far distance away. The Envoys then came reporting to her. Snavi quickly sent another group. She was a Hokage, she couldn't just run off like that, as she needed to know what was going on. But when the Envoys came out there to interrupt the battle, they were quickly taken care of. Jiraiya couldn't believe it, as Naruto has gotten so much more powerful than he thought. Jiraiya was still underestimating Naruto, but when the time came for him to stop doing that, as he finally was ready to go into stage mode by summoning toads here, Naruto did not give him the chance, as Naruto blew away both Gamabunta and Gamaken, sending both toads sailing. As he took care of the Envoys as well, Naruto brutally defeated Jiraiya, snapped his hand apart so he could not do whatever he was doing, as he was able to knock out Jiraiya, and with that, he made his way back to the village. The people of the village were shocked. Aizumo and Kitetsu tried to stop Naruto at the gate, but they were instantly sent away. The people saw his face, despite being changed just a bit. They saw the mark and his hair, and his eyes were no different. They were shocked. The people thought that D-Man came back to kill them all, as many of them started to run. Naruto was then surrounded, as Snavi and everyone was ready. Snavi jumped down. Hinata had seen the ninjas gathered, as she activated her Byakugan as she was running with Sakura. Hinata quickly made her way over there along with Sakura. All the ninjas around Naruto though they drop, except for Snavi as Naruto lightened the weight around her. Snavi didn't know how he was manipulating gravity around her, but it was difficult to move for the others. As she spoke to him, she begged him to return. She begged him to stop this before it ended up being a bigger mess than he can even account for. As Naruto came for one thing though, all the financial properties that belong to his mother and father living here in Konoha. As Navi was surprised that he found out about that. She tried to talk to him. She even tried to hit him, but she stopped herself when she realized he was going to block. She cursed herself. She was a Hokage. She had to stop him. When she tried to do that though, the two girls arrived. Hinata couldn't believe that she rushed up Naruto. She failed to stop him the last time, but she will stop him this time, as she begged him to stay. But Naruto was not hearing any of it, as she tried her last option, as she told him that she loved him. It was hard for her even to say those words out loud, but she still her resolve, as she needed for him to hear that. She was too afraid to say it the last time. But Naruto said that it would never work between them. That broke Hinata. Yes, badly. As she stood there, couldn't believe it. She was going to try to stop him by force now. She has been training hard and stealing her resolve, so that she can do what is necessary. But Naruto didn't give her the chance, blowing her away as she flipped and landed it wasn't as hard as what it was supposed to be. As Naruto simply flew out of there, Sakura dropping to her knees. Once again, she felt useless as Konan arrived. With that, the both of them made their way back. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? In the shinobi world, there was a lot of things that were available, such as strength on the battlefield, intelligent, able to think on your feet on the battlefield, and strategize. But the most important thing in the world, probably, is information. Because without information, you will never know. But with it, you can learn a lot, know a lot, even know about your enemies before they even attack you. And that is the base of it all, isn't it? At the moment, information was spreading when it comes towards Kiri. The news was being passed around. People find out about the event that happened at Kiri. The Akatsuki was already well known, given that Gaara was kidnapped by the Akatsuki and taken. And each village has already suffered the wrath of the Akatsuki already. And now things are getting worse. The Raikage was currently sitting inside his office, as the Raikage was known for someone with incredible strength. And now that Minato Namikaze was dead, he claimed to be the fastest man in the world. The Raikage never wavered under no threat. The man was sad to hear that Yujito was taken, and angry, and wanted to take this organization down. That is why he sent his shinobis to scour the area, but they end up finding nothing at all. That was a big blow for his pride to know that one of his shinobis were taken right under his nose and he was not even able to do anything about it. That is why at the moment Killer Bee was on tight security, knowing that the Akatsuki is running loose, as the man was hardly let out of the village anymore to do really anything without proper escorts. Well, it seems that the Raikage wanted to keep him in the village every single time nowadays. And that was something that Bee didn't like, not at all. But at the moment the Raikage was currently reading over a scroll in his hand. He tossed the scroll onto his desk as he had a worried look on his face. Beside him was Darui. The Raikage picked up a scroll and tossed it towards him. Darui was his right-hand man and always had his back. Darui read over the scroll as well. "Boss, is this even possible?" he asks. There has been witnesses, a lot of them, are on the coast. This couldn't be so much people want to tell a lie, said the Raikage. But one boy? The Raikage was finding it hard to believe that one boy was able to decimate Kiri by himself and take the Mizukage without anyone stopping him. That seems impossible, right? But from what he've gotten, and from the reports that he've sent his ninja out to scour the area to see, it was right. Another member of the Akatsuki. Seems that these Akatsuki foes are quite unique. To level an entire village by himself, that should be impossible. What is this part about the transformation? All of them had a vague description about some strange transformation with 9 tails. Wait, do you think? Said Darui. I don't know, said the Raikage. But this is something that we have to look into. I won't allow them to take B. If it comes to it, I'll crush them with my bare hand, he said. As the Raikage was not joking around. Meanwhile, at the Hidden Stone, Onki was currently in his office, reading over a note as well, the recent reports that he has gotten. News has been spreading like wildfire. It seems that the ninja world was on the tip of a scale, and right now it was balanced, but soon enough, it will be tipped over. So, old man, it's that group, isn't it? Yes, said Onki as he looked towards his granddaughter Kurasuke. Oniki looked towards the window as he turned around. One Akatsuki member had went into Kiri ending the civil war, but he had not come out single-handedly. He had destroyed the entire place. If Onki was not worrying about this new threat, he would have went, sending his ninjas to take over Kiri because it should be rather simple now. But the information that he got was that there was barely anything to take over there. The lands, everything was destroyed. What kind of person could destroy an entire nation by himself? Who the hell is this boy? Suddenly, an envelope flashed in the office. The man kneeled down in front of Onki. Sir, did you find them? Onki asked. I'm afraid there is just one out there that we found. But he's refusing to come back with us no matter what, seeing that he can't handle himself. Is it Roshi? Yes, my lord. Onki grumbled under his breath. He had sent his envoys out to find Roshi and Han, not to fight, but just to talk to them, to tell them to come back. They were not on good terms with him at all. He had given them free reins as long as they stay in the border of the Hidden Stone. They were his weapons after all. But they were always stubborn when it comes to these things, thinking that they can do things on their own. But this was no time to argue now. The Akatsuki was after the tail beast. He wouldn't allow the Hidden Stone to be without their weapon. They will have to need something in the future to boost their power. This will not be like the last time, when one single man was able to wipe out his entire forces. No, the Hidden Stone will not fall again, he thought to himself. Meanwhile, at Konoha, Tsunade was looking through the window. She wasn't paying attention to anything that was going on. She was in the Hokage's tower she was in, a hospital room. Lying on the bed was none other than Jiraiya, with bandage wrapped around him. He didn't have anything fatal, but he was seriously damaged. He cleared his throat. As he turned towards her, his face was completely serious. Tsunade shut the window. As she performed hand signs, she activated a sealing barrier in the room. She had already set up everything, no sound, no eyes would be able to see or hear what they're talking about. Seems, even as Hokage, I wasn't able to do what was necessary of me to stop him. Tsunade sat at the edge of the bed. It's okay, Haim, Jiraiya said as he winks a bit as he pulled himself up, leaning up against the wall. The kid has gotten strong. If it isn't for one thing, I would have admired him and praised him because of his skills. But I'm afraid he's not using them the right way at the moment. Jiraiya sighed. I don't know how it came to this. I still have no idea what drove him to this point. Has he become that much more powerful? Or were you holding back because you didn't want to hurt him? At first I was. But the more it went down, I realized I have to take him in by any means necessary. I was even willing to enter Sage mode. Tsunade looked at him, shocked. But he didn't allow me to. He's faster, stronger. His abilities, I still have no idea how they're possible. Do you remember those 3 orphans that I found in the hidden rain that I trained? Yeah, but why are you bringing them up? Remember those eyes of the legend, the Rinnegan? Yeah, I know that you say. Naruto's eyes have that same rubber pattern, but his eyes are yellow. Yes, I believe it's a strange version of the Rinnegan somehow. I don't know how he acquired it. He will not tell me a single thing. How did you even find him? Well, another thing I want to talk to you about was what he's doing. Jiraiya then went and told Tsunade about what he saw. Tsunade was shocked. He's trying to bring back the Uzumaki clan? Yeah. Figures that he couldn't become Hokage. He's gonna become the Uzukage. Seems like he's not letting anything stop him to be a leader, huh? But Tsunade wasn't, well, in a happy mood to chuckle at any joke or anything. As she looked at Jiraiya, this is bad. I have a council meeting in 1 hour, and I will have to go in there and talk to him about this. But if I tell them where he is, they will quickly initiate for us to go and destroy this the faction that he's created. And you know that, right? Yeah. To stop possible uprising, they're gonna want you to attack the Uzumakis. It doesn't matter how strong Naruto is, said Tsunade. Konoha is just too much. And no small faction can handle us. And I don't want him getting hurt, or even worse, killed, despite his recent many stupid activities. I still don't want the brat to die. I know what you mean, said Jiraiya. But what are we gonna do? If you don't reveal this now, and it comes out that you knew about it all along, this will be bad. They would see you as trying to side with the enemy despite being Hokage. The last time, that old warhawk Danzo used the opportunity to get rid of Naruto. He might try the same thing. Tsunade clenched her fist. Yes, he's always against me. Always. Hunting after a seat. I know he will, she said. She released a long, pent-up breath. But Naruto was adamant on having everything that belongs to him. All the finances that Minato once owned are kept in a safe, private bank account. Jerry looked towards her. She gave him a small smile. It seemed like the old man wanted Naruto to have something more when he found out about his parents. When I became Hokage, I never told you about this, but there was a note from the old man. He told me about the finances. That Naruto should have them once. He has the right skill, right amount of power to know the truth. Seems like Sarutobi always knew that one day it was going to catch up to him. So he left it behind in the hands of the Anvu commander, someone he seemed to trust with his own life. But doing this will have to reveal everything, even about his parents to everyone. That shouldn't be much of an issue, seeing that he's no longer a Konoha ninja, and is more than able to protect himself. I know, said Jiraiya, but that is not the big deal. I am worried about the repercussions if they were to find out that you did not tell them about where Naruto resides. Yeah, me too, she said. Tsunade looked through the window, as Naruto has just started a whole lot of trouble, and now she had to lie for his sake, so that he wouldn't die out there. She released another long breath, wherever he is. When she see him again, this time she won't hesitate. She will knock some sense into him literally, because she was angry. She was pissed. Meanwhile, Hanabi Hyuga was having a bad day. Hanabi jumped back as she dodged a brutal palm strike that came towards her head. Hayashi was watching as his two daughters were sparring. Seeing that Hinata was so filled with, he could see it. She was built up with so much resentment and other emotions at the moment. For Hyuga, that was not well to be seen for someone keeping away their emotions so firmly and letting them spill out. Hyugas always keep a dignified front, even when their emotions are hurting, but Hinata was relentless about it. Over the time since Naruto has came back to the village, the things that happened, she has been rather cold, wicked towards the other members of the clan. His sweet little daughter, who has always been shy and nice, even when the branch members talked to her in any sort of way. It get her irritated, because she was letting out all of her anger, and didn't seem like she cared one bit. As Hayashi knew that one boy, he never knew that his daughter feel that deeply about him, but it is changing her a lot, and it's not for the better at all. As he snapped out of his thoughts, when little Hanabi cried out, "Hinata!" he shouted. Hinata stopped her hand 5 inches away from Hanabi's face, even though Hanabi was on the ground defenseless at the moment. Hinata seemed to be in some sort of gaze as her eyes looked over towards her father. "That's enough," he said. "You've won." As Hanabi looked up at her sister, "May I be excused?" asked Hinata. Hayashi nodded, and with that she walked off, not even helping her sister up. Hanabi looked like she wanted to cry. Hayashi, seeing that one of his daughters were falling down the slope, he didn't want to lose or let the two of them fall down the slope. He had tried many times, but he couldn't find it in himself to do that. The Hyugas were supposed to be dignitaries, people that were well known to hide their emotions, but here he was trying to let her express her emotions now. After all these years, he has been telling her to seal them away so she can get stronger, to not be so soft. But now she was doing that, and he hated it. He hated how painful it was being for her to go through all of this. He helped up his little daughter. "Father, is there anything we can do?" He watched his other daughter retreated. "I'm afraid at the moment, no," he said, as he didn't know how to deal with the situation. As he released a long sigh, "Just give her some time. I'm sure with time she will be..." "No, father." He turned towards Hanabi. "That's all we have been doing recently, giving her time. But it's not changing. It's getting worse. We have to do something," said Hanabi. Time skip. Hinata removed her clothing as she made her way towards the bath. After getting everything ready, she went under the shower, the warm water washing over her body. As she closed her eyes, the words haunting her every single time. "I love you. I'm sorry, but it will never work." They were repeating over and over in her mind. She said them to him finally, but he turned her down. She could understand where he was coming from. That was the strange part of it all. They weren't even in the same village anymore. It wasn't like they know each other anymore. He's changed, and she has changed as well. She remembered that day when they came back, and she left that flower, but she was too afraid to talk to him about it. And now watch, everything has slipped away from her. Every single last hope of her convinced him to return. She didn't know what to do anymore, as she released another long breath. Meanwhile, at Uzo, Naruto was walking around the village. Despite not formally being the Uzukage yet, the people already see him as a leader. There was no ceremony yet that put him at the top of all the head. There was a few old members in the clan that had the experience, but the people all looked towards him for guidance. It was strange, he has never been in this position before. He found out that Kaya found her sister, and that was just wonderful as he was happy for her. More family the better. Here, the Uzumakis were different from normal people. The Uzumakis all share one united front, one united goal, and it was family. When it comes to family, it doesn't matter what, they always love each other. Despite situations might have changed, but family will always be number one for them. As Naruto walked around as he waved to few people passing him by. "Good morning, Naruto-sama," a little girl waved over to him. "Good morning, Gabriella," said Naruto as he smiled at her. He had taken upon himself to know all of their names, given that it was just a few little kids here, kids that need to be cherished. As Naruto saw a group of boys all playing. "Good morning, Naruto-sama," all of them waved to him, as Naruto waved back with a friendly smile. Naruto looked around as the constructions were happening, making his way over. "Ah, Naruto-san, as you can see, the first layout that you gave us is already done." As Naruto smiled at Tazuna. Yes, it was none other than Tazuna that he'd hired. Iniri made his way over. "Yes, we're working hard and fast, Naruto," said Iniri with a smile on his face. As Naruto had turned to them, giving them the job of the things that he wanted to create in Uzo. Buildings that were having new sections placed on them. Naruto smiled as he checked over the blueprint. After speaking to Iniri and Tazuna for about 5 minutes, the both of them went back to work. And with that he walked off. As there was many constructions going on in the village, things being tweaked, the seal masters all working on the seal to make sure that this time Uzo will never be invaded once again. Making his way towards the hospital, entering, Naruto was greeted by many people, which he greeted them back. As he made his way towards the head office and knocked on the door. "Who is it?" "It's me." "Oh, come on in." Naruto entered to see Karen there, as she had a big smile on her face. Karen was the head of the hospital here. To Naruto's surprise, most of the female kunoichi here already know about medical ninjutsu. Not to the degree that Tsunade will know about, but they are quite skilled in it. Sometime he'd forgotten that most of them were shinobis and ninjas. Though years of lack of experience, they still had their knowledge. But Karen, when it comes to medical ninjutsu, was the best here. She had a literal source of healing chakra in her body. As Naruto found out that there was only 3 other people here that can do that, it seems like it was quite rare. Out of the entire clan, out of the entire history, there was known to be only 15 people including Karen that can do that with their chakra. And the others were all working here now. There was 3 of them remaining along with Karen, making them 4. The others have died in the past. Karen was currently working with the science and medic department, working on a way to utilize her ability so she can create tablets that would help the Uzumakis in need. Taking one of them would be like an automatic medic on the scene with you to help you along the way. As she finished telling Naruto her idea. "I knew that you would be wonderful at doing this," said Naruto, causing a blush to come on her face. Karen has been spending a lot of time with him lately, as they have been going over the documents of the hospital and other different reports. She has found her time with him to be amazing, not to mention in the Hidden Rain, when the both of them had dinners. She didn't know if he'd take it as a date, but she kind of did, and she enjoyed him very much. She didn't know what was their relationship type, but at the moment she knew that he couldn't focus on something like that. After all, he was trying to establish back a clan, and she knew that was difficult, so she wouldn't rush or do anything out of the way to harm that progress. So, if she have to, she would wait. And it's not like she's not busy with so many things and fixing the hospital schedule. She was snapped out of her thoughts. "Karen, do you hear what I said here to ask?" As she looked at him, that sheepish smile. "Sorry, I wasn't listening." "What was that?" she asked. She knew there was no point of lying. Naruto wasn't a person to take offense of that. Most time, he was always lost in his thoughts. As she expected, he simply waved it off. "I've already spoken to Koyoke." "And what did she say?" "Well, she agreed," said Naruto. Naruto went by to the land of spring, as there was many technological things that were evolving in the world right now. As he had made a deal with Koyuki, as he wanted to purchase some of them, new equipments that Karen could use, new machines that will help speed up recovery. She even gave me the best deal, said Naruto. Well, that shouldn't be so hard to figure out. The both of you are friends, right? Said Karen. Yes, said Naruto, but it was really nice of her. Are you sure that she's being nice, or isn't just because she wants to get in your pants? You know, that's usually what a girl would say. It's flattering for you to think that girls are after me to get in my pants, he said. Well, it's not like you're a bad-looking guy, and given your fatigue. Naruto smiled even more, making her blush. What's wrong? He said. Nothing, she said. Can we get back to the schedule? Sure, said Naruto. But you're getting awfully red. Karen knew that he was doing it on purpose. After all, he wasn't naive. It's nothing, it's just a bit hot in here. Well, I don't feel hot, he said. Well, I do, she said. She buried her face into the book. Now I have a lot to do, so I'll see you later, she said. Sure, said Naruto, as he started to walk off. As Naruto made his way, there was a lot on his mind. There was a lot for him to do. He had Karen live with him, as she's always asking him different questions, always going after late night work and all that. So, he rather she just be there, so they can do it together. After all, the head compound was the largest one here. And there was also the head office. That was the largest one, you would call that like the Hokage's office here. As for the village, it was nice, red and black, and most areas in purple and black. As Naruto to find out that most Uzumakis had purple eyes. On a few occasions, some of them had silver eyes, as he found that quite unique. Many of them though marveled at his eyes. Naruto has even found some reports about these legendary eyes of his. It said that only one man in history used to have these eyes. There was also some report about the Sage of Six Paths. Naruto believed that this man was definitely real. After all, given the things that he can do, he wouldn't think that it was a stretch for the man to create the entire moon. Yes, that wouldn't be a surprise. And making things out of thin air by using chakra, Naruto could manipulate the creation ability to some extent. But the Sage was on a totally different level than anyone it seemed to be in history. But there was also another man, Kaizen Uzumaki. Yes, his name has been passed on through the legends. The man who said he had extraordinary abilities but he never used them. Kaizen Uzumaki took himself as a monk even within the Uzumaki clan. He never fought. He was always the one to sit down and deal with things peacefully. He was assassinated. At first, Kaya had thought that the man had died for unknown reasons, but he was assassinated. It seems the man was on a trip making his way, as Naruto had heard from Rengoku's mother, who was still alive. Uzumaki's after all had the vitality. She was a young girl when she heard of the story about the man. Kaizen was making his way to meet up with the Senjus. It was in time when the Uzumakis were feared, where the other nations were scared of them even worse because they were creating explosive tags and sealing that will help the Senjus and the Uzumakis and the others to face off against the other nations. The group was brought down, as Kaizen never wanted to fight. The man took himself as a dignitary, a noble, who shouldn't raise a finger, despite having the power of these eyes. Naruto wondered if he was distantly related to the man somehow, but the record of his family tree was gone. Not even Rengoku's mother knew exactly if he had a child. It was strange. The man, even though Uzumaki, seemed to be distant from the clan, and that was rather confusing. With that, Naruto made his way home, as there was someone there waiting on him. As Naruto made his way around the corner, as the front of the yard was decorated with tile. Bright red tiles that littered the floor yard way. Given that the seal had returned everything, the place was beautifully painted and everything was in right stature. Nothing was worn or torn. The chakra that Naruto used had given enough to create vital essence out of it, like his ability to create things from chakra. As Naruto made his way opening the front gate, with a simple touch the gate was opened up. His chakra signature and a few others were printed inside of it. He made his way, as it was a large compound, seeming to be a family compound. After all, Uzumakis were growing at the time. They needed to add more members. At the moment they were low on numbers. But Naruto would make sure to find all of them that is out there. He will find them and bring them all back here. That was a promise of a lifetime. As he made his way inside the beautiful main house, there was a purple streak going around the entire house. The beautiful shade of red and white. He stepped inside, making his way through the house as he went towards the balcony, where Konan was standing. She had her eyes closed as a breeze was blowing through her hair, and she had a gentle, peaceful smile on her face. Naruto didn't know what he felt overall. He couldn't really describe it, but this feeling of passion that he felt towards Konan was probably the same feeling that Kaya felt towards her husband. After all, she told him that she and her husband met and their eyes locked and it was love at first sight. But there was another feeling towards someone else, and that was Karen. Spending enough time with the girl, Naruto had started to feel, feelings for her as well. He hasn't waited to fully display this yet, but at the moment, things were needed, and he couldn't focus on a relationship at the moment. But that didn't mean he couldn't feel anything. He stepped out of the balcony. "Gorgeous, isn't it?" he said. "Well, yes." Konan opened her eyes. "I must say the view is gorgeous." "Oh, sorry," said Naruto. "I was talking to myself, and I was talking about you." She did not face him because of the blush in her face. It was becoming recently that she couldn't stop herself from blushing when he spoke to her, in these compassionate, soft, wonderful ways. "So I'm surprised," said Naruto. "About what?" she asked. "You didn't tell him." "About what?" she said once again. "Well, I myself don't know what I turned into that day, but you do. My memory is a bit hazy. I heard your voice, and I heard your anger towards the event. It triggered something inside of me, and this urge to protect you just came, and I changed." Naruto made his way inside as he picked up the golden pants, and came back. "I made these purely out of chakra. Seems, in my crazy state, I still wanted to keep some modesty, knowing that when I came back I wouldn't be wearing any clothes. That's strange, isn't it?" "Indeed it is," she said. "So why didn't you tell Nagato?" Naruto asked. "I didn't see any harm done not telling him." "Well, you guys told me one of your biggest secrets, so I'm surprised you didn't tell him that." "Oh, about him?" "Yes," said Naruto. Nagato had told him about Madara. As Naruto still couldn't believe it, Madara Uchiha, which he found rather strange. Madara Uchiha, someone that should be fear, is now weak. As the man had gained some kind of immortality. As Naruto really wanted to know exactly what was going on with that man. He had seen the man in the mask before, but he never focused on him, thinking that he was just another stupid idiot. After all, he acted like a fool. But now, to find out that he was the one behind everything. He was the one that was helping Nagato from day one. And for some reason, Naruto did not like it. Well, it was a good reason, but he couldn't tell why. He didn't like it one bit. "I can tell by the way you looked that day that you don't like him." "What?" said Konan. "Konan, we've been working together for a while now, and I can tell when you're not happy and when you're sad." "You really believe that?" she said. She was someone who kept her emotions rather in check, so she didn't believe that one bit. "Well, seems like we've gotten along together so well. I can see clearly," said Naruto. "Well, if you believe that." "You think I don't?" he said to her. "I'm not saying otherwise. I'm just saying believe what you want." Naruto sighed. "You're always stubborn, you know that. For someone so beautiful, well, I guess you have to be stubborn." Konan did not face him once again. What the hell was wrong with her? She needed to get a better control over herself. "So, you don't trust him, do you?" Konan looked at Naruto. "No," she said. "Me neither. You haven't even met him." "Yeah, but besides the point, I still don't trust him." "Why? Would this guy offer to help you, knowing that Nagato is going to create a weapon to change the world? You're telling me that he wants nothing for himself." Konan looked at Naruto. She knew that Madara was up to something, but she didn't know what, as she knew that the man seemed to fancy Nagato's eyes. And one day, he might even betray them to get Nagato's eyes. She looked at Naruto. If it was you in his position, what would you do? In whose Naruto asked. Nagato, she said. I would kill this so-called Madara, said Naruto. Konan looked at him. She had the same thought. They had Naruto now. Naruto had more than enough power to fill Madara's shoes, given that the man is so terribly weak right now. You're thinking the same thing, aren't you? Said Naruto. As Konan didn't respond. His ability allowed him to phase through objects. I don't know exactly how it works, but from what I can see so far, he can phase through objects. And I don't know if there's a timer behind it. But there must be a limit. Do you want me to kill him? Naruto asks. Konan paused. At the moment, Nagato still thinks that he is useful. So don't do anything rash. But I don't believe that he is doing this for Nagato's purpose. He's working for something else. And I don't exactly know what it is. Well, I don't trust him either, said Naruto. So if he comes up to it, I'll kill him myself. Konan didn't respond. But Naruto could tell that she was pleased with this idea. She didn't trust Madara. And she wanted Nagato to not trust him as well. But it seems that Nagato still thinks that he was useful. Well, I have some paper to go over. Are you staying? Naruto asks. Well, I'll stay here for a little while. And enjoy this. You know you don't have to go back to the rain, right? I mean, it's such a long flight going back there. Do you expect me to stay here with you? She asks. Well, I would enjoy that, said Naruto. Well, I have to be by Nagato's side, she said. Perhaps another time. If you say so, said Naruto. And with that he made his way off. Konan stood there. She didn't know what the hell was wrong with her, hesitating not to be by Nagato's side. She has always been there since day one. And blushing. What's with this schoolgirl blushing thing? What is wrong with her? She can't let this get to her head. There's a job to be done here. And she can't be stupid. The Akatsuki still have their goal, and they need to have them met. Now more than ever, as Hidan and Kakazu has been taken care of. The zombie duo, as Kisame called them, that was rather surprised to believe that they were actually taken down by Konoha shinobis nonetheless. But the teams had been switched around. Sasori and Deidara were still alive, so it doesn't matter at the moment, and Kisame and Itachi were still out there. Time skip at Konoha. Tsunade was currently sitting down in the chambers. All of the clan heads were gathered, including Danzo, Homura, and Koharu. Before Tsunade could even say anything, the meeting has already been adjourned though. Koharu was the first one to speak. Lady Hokage, what are we gonna do about this problem? This boy must pay for what he did. He has not only violated the village, but a fellow, beloved shinobi. Jiraiya. To how he did it was still a surprise to me and many of us. But still we must hunt him down and let him pay for what he did. Tsunade looked towards her. At the moment we have no idea where Naruto is located. The Akatsuki is a mystery, and we cannot tell where they are. Tsunade was taking a big risk here not to involve or tell them that Naruto is trying to recreate Uza. But she didn't want to see the brat get killed, so she was going to keep that for now. At the moment, Danzo was watching her. Not knowing the situation of Uza, but Danzo knew that she was hiding something. He could see it. Something was wrong. But Tsunade had to bring up the other fact, as that news was already public knowledge. As you guys already know, Naruto had went to Kiri and decimated the entire village on its own. Something like that should be impossible, said Koharu. How is that one brat able to get so powerful enough to do that? But it doesn't matter, Kiri doesn't have the shinobi and the power that the Leaf Village has. So if they were defeated, it's not like they were already that strong. They were on the brink of a civil war. That is not only the case there. He annihilated the entire place. And, said Koharu, seems like you don't understand. I'm not talking about the shinobis. He blew up the entire village. Wait, how? Homura said. At the moment we don't know. Jiraiya did not get much information when fighting. That is rather crazy, isn't it? A boy who was nothing more than a genin was able to gain so much power to defeat a legendary Sannin on his own. How is that even possible, said Shikaku. At the moment, Shikako, I couldn't tell you, said Tsunade, but he has gotten so strong. But the reason Naruto was here was, he wanted finances from this village. Finances, said Tatsume. He expects us to pay him after what he did? No. Something that belongs to him. Hokage-sama, you must be joking, right? Does he really expect we to pay him anything? Are you really complying to these words? Asked Homura. It belongs to him because it's his family blood right. What do you mean? Asked Koharu. Naruto is the son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Many members were shocked to no end. The revelation shocking the elders, as they couldn't believe it. Given that Minato and Kushina relationship was a secret, people did not know about their relationship. That was a more well-kept secret than the Kyuubi. So everyone was shocked. But always, Koharu and Homura went silent, as Danzo had a neutral face. After all this time, that boy, he's the son of the beloved fort? Koharu said, finally finding her voice. Well, seems that this changed things, said Chibi. For the son of the fort to be exiled from the village, to push towards the path of the Akatsuki. Chibi narrowed his eyes, but you could not see them clearly because of the glasses, toward the elders, who didn't have the voice to say anything at the moment, as they were completely silent now, making Tsunade even more angry. After all their whining and chatting back then, now they were silent. They're the one responsible for all of this. These greedy, old, stubborn, stupid bastards. She reined in her anger at the moment. She couldn't let outright no on them, as they had a situation to deal with. Well then, this surely does change a lot, said Tatsume. So, how are we going to approach this? At the moment, I don't know. No, of course, said Danzo. Despite who he is, we must not give him anything. If we give in to demands, that would just show the other nations that we're weak, letting one boy come in here and threaten us. We should form a team to find and hunt and execute this traitor. Traitor? Traitor, said Tsunade. Of course, that is exactly what he is, coming here and attacking us, said Danzo. You're the ones that forced for him to get exiled in the first place, after he did absolutely nothing wrong. Do you still believe that, Hokage-sama? Said Danzo, trying to sound polite, knowing that this woman have a rather nasty temper. Yes, I do. And now look what has happened. But I'm not here to put blame, as she glared at the elders and at Danzo. We need to come with a workaround to peacefully sort out the situation. At the moment I say hold off, said Shikaku. Hearing that Shikaku was the one saying that, Tsunade had to listen. Well, not to physically listen to his words, because she could go against him otherwise, but she wanted to hear what he has to say. Shikaku was a very smart man, and she wanted to know what he was talking about. As much as I have to say it, I agree with Danzo at the moment. Letting the other village know that we will be bullied by the Akatsuki. At the moment, they don't know that he's the son of Minato and Kushina Uzumaki. So if they see us, or if the rumors spread that we have given this boy finances after what he's done, things will look bad for Konoha and make us look weak, putting us in a state of being attacked. You're right, said Shibe. Yes, he's right, said Choza. As most of them start to agree with the statement, Tsunade released a long sigh. Well, at the moment I will not do anything regarding the matter, but we will discuss this once again, when everything has been quelled, she said. Time skip, as Naruto and the others are all gathered. There was 3 of them missing now, as the Akatsuki was in their hologramic form. There was a Jinchuriki on the ground. There's none other than the 4-tailed Roshi. At the moment, they had the 1, the 2, the 3, no the 4, and the 6th tail. Kisame and Itachi are going after the 5th tail. But they have a problem. Sasori has been killed by the 4-tailed Jinchuriki, but lucky enough Deidara was able to bring it back. What? Sasori-senpai, said Tobi. Does this mean that Tobi will become a real member now? Tobi, be quiet, said Pain. But be quiet, Pain said. He turned his head. How are your hunts coming along? We're almost in the country, said Kisame. This meeting is rather stopping our plans. Pain seemed to think for a moment. Well then. Alright. We will not seal the fourth tail yet. Naruto, I want you to go and retrieve the seventh tail in Take. What? Said Naruto. It was Kakazu, and Hidan's job to retrieve it. But know that they're gone. They are not having a partner at the moment. You should be enough to retrieve it. We will keep this Jinchuriki unconscious. Once the 5 and 7 tails has been captured, we will begin the extraction progress. And then Kisame and Itachi. The both of you will go after the 8 tails. Naruto, Zetsu will give you the location of Take. Now for the other matter. Sasuke Uchiha has killed Orochimaru. What? Damn it. I wanted to kill that bastard, said Deidara. Well, he has already done it. We believe that he is coming after you, Itachi. So, keep an eye out. Don't worry, I'll be watching Itachi's back, said Kisame with a toothy grin. Deidara smiled to himself. He had his own plans. He was going to find that Uchiha and kill him. After all, these Uchihas always act so arrogant. That is all for now. Dismiss. As the images start to flicker away, as Naruto's eyes land on Tobi. Tobi looked towards Naruto and smiled. Oh hey there, he said as he waved. But Naruto said nothing back as he simply vanished. Leaving 3 images now. That was Pain, Konan, and Tobi. Tobi's voice quickly changed. Given developments, I found a way to get a fraction of the Kyuubi's power. I should be able to get the weapon fully activated. How? Said Konan. I actually really want to know if this was about Naruto. The Gold and Silver brothers. What? Said Pain. They died some time ago. But I've been talking to a new recruit. I didn't know that we were looking for new members, said Pain. Who is it? Oh, just one of Orochimaru's lackeys. He's not a problem, but he has a jutsu that can bring back the dead. Something that we can use to get the 2 Gold and Silver brothers back. He believed that he can bring them back to the point where they had the access of the visual chakra, so it can be absorbed into the statue. Having that, we no longer have to worry about our little problem. Konan's eyes narrowed at that as he was referring to Naruto. If you think that might work, then have him do it. I intend to, just informing you. Well, that will be all, he said as he disappeared, as he was really acting like he was the one in charge. Back at the Hidden Rain, as Nagato and Konan opened their eyes. Konan said, Nagato, what is it? I know you for a long time now, and know when something is on your mind. Tell me, what is wrong? What are you talking about? You are hiding something from me. What is it? She released a sigh. It's Madara. I told you before, Konan, he's still useful. But we have Naruto. Seems like you're putting a lot of faith in Naruto recently. Well, he's powerful. And he's better than Madara. Because he's on our side completely. So you don't believe that Madara is fully with us? For the longest time, it seems like he had his own agenda in mind. Thinking about it recently, why would he just help us out of the way like that? Hasn't he asked for anything in return? Doesn't he want something for himself? It doesn't matter at the moment, Konan, he's still useful. And if it turns out that he tried to betray us in the end, I will discard him like I've done with many others. After all, a mere man can't stand up to a god. Konan looked at him, but she didn't voice what was on her mind. She simply nodded. I'll be taking my leave now. Where are you going? He asked. I will see if Naruto needs my assistant when it comes towards the Jinchuriki. Very well. Nagato watched her go. She is becoming rather clingy towards Naruto lately, always wanting to be by his side. As he thought nothing of it though, as he watched her go, but no, it was becoming a, well, fact, every single second of the day. She wanted to be at his side even though it caused her to fly from here straight towards Uzo. Yes, she's becoming attached to him, as he hoped this won't be a problem in the future, just in case. Time skip. Naruto, Zetsu, and Konan made their way. "It's here," said Zetsu, his black half looking at Naruto strangely for a moment before its face towards a path. "Right over there at the waterfall. The moment you're in distance, they will sense you. But that is the only known way to get in there. The other way is underneath it, which they use for daimyos. They have a seal, which create a hidden entrance open. But you'll have to face off against a rather large force. It is being constantly guarded the moment you step underground." "That will be all," said Naruto. "Huh. Orders are on like that after we just helped you. Couldn't you at least say thanks," said White Zetsu. "I said that will be all," said Naruto. "Bossy pants," said White Zetsu. "Enough," said Black Zetsu. "Let's just get going." With that, the both of them went away. "Are you okay?" said Konan. "This village was a part of it," said Naruto. "What do you mean?" "I found her from some of the Uzumakis that made it through. That Taki was a part of the attacking force, helping the other nations to destroy Uzu. They were also fearing the power." "Haven't you noticed something?" said Naruto. "Taki is the only minor force that has a Jinchuriki. That is not an elemental nation. They believe they can run in the big dogs. Now it's time for them to reap what they have sown." "Let's go," said Naruto as he extended his hand. Almighty. Push! The waterfall that was blocking the large stone entrance that was there was suddenly blown apart with tremendous force. Ninjas' eyes widened. The ones that were behind the barricade that was guarding before, something wrapped around their waists and yanked them. Throwing the two of them to the sides, they slammed into the wall. With that, Naruto and Konan calmly made their way through. Stepping inside, a numerous amount of shops went off. With a quick wave of his hand, everything was blown away. As Naruto kept on walking, Konan right beside him. As she was in his field of gravity, raising his hand once more, Naruto reached forward as he manipulated the water source in front of him. The thing drained away, showing the full path. He didn't want to get wet. As they stepped fully inside the village of Take, the moment they did so though, they were surrounded. Ninjas already on high alert, all ready with their weapons. As they were glaring at them dangerously, daring them to make one step. It was then that one of them noticed the clothing. They heard about the group. It's the Akatsuki. I bet they're here for that demon. As many of them start to mumble, we should just let them take her and finally get rid of her. If we don't, that would just cause destruction to the village. But she's our weapon, we can't. Do you want to die? These guys are dangerous. You hear the rumors about what happened to Kiri. Wait, look at that guy. Blonde hair. Golden. It's him. Mother of God. It's him! As they start to shake in fear, the members backing away as Naruto stepped forward. If they think him being a part of the Akatsuki was their only problem, they were sadly mistaken. But guys, if you end subscribe right here. If once these parties orange, do like, subscribe, comment, and return bell notifications they posted. But I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace.